Welcome, welcome, welcome to tonight's edition of Childhood Rewind. Are you afraid of the dark? Free. That's about how I feel. Let's see, hold on. Sorry, my allergies decided to act the fool right before. So we're starting with Tale of the Carved Stone.
Yep.
Oh goody. Here we go.
The Carved Stone. Alice and Denny and her family just moved into town. It's tough being the new kid and having to make new friends. Allison knew that. What she didn't know was just how dangerous making a new friend was going to be.
TJB was here. Well, TJ, I wish you still were. Hello? Hey! You
All right, 120. You know what I went through to get this. The guy could have killed me.
Yes, well, that's none of my bees.
200. Or I'm taking everything over to Uncle Bobo's.
Where are you?
We just moved in last week. The old brown brick house in Maple Lane.
I don't suppose I could interest you in a flask of popularity potion?
I mean, I've searched the world over for the curios contained in this chest.
No, of course not. It's much better than a potion.
It's an Egyptian friendship stone.
You just hold it in your hand, close your eyes, and recite the ancient Egyptian spell.
Amrak. Vitulin. Ra.
Amrak, Vitulin, Ra. Vitulus, Amrak, Vitulin, Spa.
Are you Allison?
Yeah, I am. Well, you were outside before and you dropped these.
Fun? That's what you called us to come all the way over here for? Some stupid glasses?
Hey,
That's sod dough. No.
are you sure you're all right?
Please leave. The store is closed.
But you're...
For the last time, shopkeeper. Where is the amulet?
I told you, I don't know.
It was in this chest which you snatched from its hiding place just this very morning.
I didn't snatch it, and I haven't seen any amulet.
Denny! Look at me, Allison. Look into my eye. Stop! Go no further! No! Oh!
And how'd you do that? How did you get into my room? Your room? This is my room. I'm Thomas Jefferson Bradshaw, and this is my grandmother's house.
I don't trust nobody named Thomas Jefferson.
Thomas Jefferson Bradshaw. It changed the mirror and I saw you. Like it opened a door to a different dimension, or a different... What's the date today?
March 13th.
Yeah, but what year?
What year? Don't you know anything? It's 1892.
You serious? 1892?
If she wakes up, she's gonna cane me.
That's terrible. What about your parents?
They died when I was younger.
Hey, why don't I show you?
How?
Well, we'll go back the way I came, through the mirror.
Cheers. It's my house.
You'll wake the neighbors.
Chrysanthemum! No, it's okay. What are you doing here?
I came to warn you about that stone. It appears it really is a powerful amulet.
This way.
Oh, you will suffer the torment of...
How does it work?
Like this?
Checkout time.
You start. If I start, I'm gonna cuss her out.
Mistake number one: telling a stranger, a strange man, precisely where you live.
I mean, why not just go for broke?
And then the two kids, they bonded over both being only children. Unfortunately, he was in an abusive situation with his grandmother, which tells me grandma either if she was mama's mama, she didn't like daddy, and if she was daddy's mama, she didn't like mama. And she's taking it out on that child.
Mm-hmm.
So you decide to take a little boy from the 1800s into the 1900s. What were y'all gonna do in the middle of the night? What were you gonna show him in the middle of the night? Because two kids roaming around that night, well, you know, the way this show is set up, they probably would have went unnoticed. But and then old boys in there talking about, don't you know anything? A woman just came through your mirror. And in 1895, there's no way she's walking around with pants on in the city and being dressed like that. At that time, the few places that you could get denim from, coal miners exclusively wore denim. So she wasn't a proper lady.
Nope. I'm gonna say this. Look at my notes.
Well, who the hell named that poor little boy Thomas Jefferson anything? Like, that's why he wouldn't let him leave the house, because he had a Me Too case coming.
I'll say this. For the most of this mess, and I say for the most of it, it's the fact that there's, again, no parents, and I'm just like, what is it with no parents in this show?
Yeah, they only
why do y'all hate parents?
They only explained the little 18 Thomas Jefferson not having parents. They didn't explain where her parents were. 'Cause 24 hours, not a single adult.
24 hours, and they say at the beginning of the episode, her family moved there. Where are they? And how do you have this disposable income?
Well, she was broke, because when she went to go pay the $350 originally to replace the glasses, Sister Girl had a change purse and predominantly change because it spilt on the floor. And then Mr. Con Artist Magic Man, once again, how's he still in business? Where were the Karens when we really need them? Where were the Karens to come and have this establishment shut down? Because he keeps darn near killing the kids in this city.
I don't know.
And Sister Girl Miss Mamas is super stupid, because the first time she walked in there, she overheard him negotiating with the guy who stole the box. She heard it with her little klutzy self. Like, I know I'm clumsy, but damn. Just knocking everything over in this man's shop. Didn't pick.
I'm just like, how are you literally not able to hold a declarative sentence? And then let's talk about the kids. Ma'am, there was no reason for you to be all up in her gut saying, you call us over here for this? Yes, he dropped something. It was, girl, she could have kept it. It could have been his great grandfather's pair of glasses, and he had never seen them again. You don't know that. You don't know the sentimental value he placed on them glasses.
Yeah, because he was very impressed that they were returned. And my thing is, she didn't call y'all. She called him. So it seems like little Miss Brad, if you bought Stephanie Tanner from Wish.com, had been sitting around waiting to be chosen by this young man, because she was real mad that somebody else was getting attention.
Brad. I was like, girl, you need to shut the heck up. Your voice is annoying. That was like whatchamacallit? What is her name? That's like Emerald from the second season of Sailor Moon with that laugh. I was like, ugh, ugh. It's like, just stop laughing. Please stop laughing because your laugh is annoying and it's hurting my ears.
And also, Miss Mamas has zero patience. You just moved in. You've been there for a week. Now I'm gathering school was in, but I'm like, are you just sitting there like a deaf mute during school all day?
I'm guessing.
Like you only want to be friends with these three ragamuffins?
Well, see, I can't speak for the look like the oldest girl in the back because she was just like, okay.
Yeah, two were cool. One was a problem. I'd had to come out the bag on her. But I'm just like, girl, it's been a week.
You should have been able to make a friend by now.
And even still, if you come in the middle of a school year, because I've had to do that. When I was 14 and we moved, it wasn't even the middle of the school year. It was a week before my birthday in April. So towards the end of the school year. Now, the first couple days, it was slow going because I really didn't want to talk to anybody. Everything was completely different. I wasn't accustomed to how they did things. And I went to an oddly strict middle school then. It was oddly strict. So just trying to concentrate on the rules. Like you couldn't walk around with a jacket or a sweater, no matter how cold it was. But I was not assigned a locker because it was so late in the school year. So I was trying to focus on that. But within about a week and a half, 2 weeks, I had friends. And I had friends that were in walking distance of me. Because when I finally started opening my mouth and they're like, oh, she's not a psychopath sitting in the corner. It was cool. But I'm like, girl, how did you make friends where you came from before? She reeks of all my previous friends were the children of my mama and daddy's kids.
Maybe, I don't know. Because at this particular point, I'm like, what is going on here in these streets? And then second, y'all couldn't give that man no moisturizer? Y'all couldn't moisturize him before you put him on camera?
No moisturizer.
Y'all let him going out there looking like death becomes us in these streets.
He looks
Shame
like
on y'all.
a California raisin up in them streets.
I mean, really, y'all are terrible. Letting that poor man go out there looking like he ain't got no sense.
I mean, he
What's
didn't.
wrong with y'all? Y'all could have at least gave him something.
And here's one thing that was also puzzling to me. Mr. Ghoulman already knew she had the amulet, already knew where she lived. What was the whole point of following the magic man there afterwards?
I'm not sure.
And threatening him wasn't going to do anything to those kids because those kids are not connected with him.
Sure enough. Sorry, I'm just moving stuff down here because it's like in my way. So forgive me.
Any other thoughts on this episode before we go into the next trickling where they have to sprinkle in something Egyptian?
Oh God, I forgot about this one, but go ahead.
I should have called this one The Night O Egypt. Well, before we get to the next clip, we do have the February ad up, so let's run it. Room for this.
Tale of the Guardian's Curse.
They're from Egypt or something, some kind of tomb. Ain't these things supposed to have curses on them or something, huh? Get out of here. You watch these movies.
Funny, it doesn't look like Mount Snowbird to me. Where do we buy our lift tickets?
5 minutes, no more.
Dad, we're really going this time, right? No last minute emergencies.
Just a quick peek, then we're off to the mountains for a whole week. Twice when you see what we've got. Vacations come and go, but a find like this happens once in a lifetime. My God, where did you find it? It was hidden behind a false wall.
The archaeological community was shocked to discover that the newly unearthed Temple of Light was ransacked last evening with most of its ancient treasures stolen. Who?
Ina was a goddess. The ancient Egyptians believed that she used her ring of eternity to bring forth life from the earth every spring. Yeah. All right, help me quickly. Careful. There she is. Guardian.
I can't believe he missed it.
Don't touch it, there's a curse.
It's an oak, a symbol of life.
Gross. That's exactly what I'm saying.
I want the ring of eternity. I didn't find the ring. But your children did. And I wasn't about to let it be claimed by the Egyptian authorities when it was so near my grasp.
Sounds about white.
Your children are more clever than you.
I've got to go to the museum after all. Sorry, I love you, Dad.
No. My God, it's alive.
The elixir brings life. The ring brings eternity.
So, let's not talk about the cultural appropriation. Let's not talk about the father being an endless workaholic. Let's not talk about the very fact that these kids are left on their own and left to their own devices because he does not have the brain capacity nor the compassion to even look in on them because their mother has died. And you're like, oh my God, I must bury myself in my work because these kids are too much. I cannot do it. I cannot be the father that they need. I must dive into my work. I must be the workaholic that they've called me to be in this series. I must do it for the series. There is no other reason. I must do it. Okay, I'm done.
Cultural appropriation is conspiracies. And then of course, let's take this beautiful Egyptian woman, not make her Egyptian. All of a sudden, she completely understands English, which she would not have been introduced to during her lifespan, given the years that they claim she was alive. And then she automatically falls for the white man because his son gave her ring back.
Hey, baby, you ought to come up and see me sometime.
It's like it screams Disney, because Disney always has to have a white savior that comes in, and the POC woman or man falls in love with them, and now everything is happily dappily ever after.
I don't think we've had a man interpretation yet.
Oh, true.
Yet. It's coming. It's on the pike. Oh, wait, you know what? No, sorry. I have to take that back. Oh God, it's what's his name? Who played in Abraham Lincoln? Who's never doing any movies anymore. He officially retired. Oh God, what is his name?
Are you talking about McConaughey?
No. He played Abraham Lincoln. Like that was one of his most iconic roles. And then the last movie he did was like about 4 years ago. I think he was in Gangs of New York too. He played the big boss.
Yeah, hold on.
What is his name? He's like a method actor, like method. Pull out the phones, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm trying to type it as quickly as I can with the dang crackhead. Oh my goodness, there's so many Abraham Lincoln movies. Let's see. Okay. Oops.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Okay, there we go. As soon as you said it, it finally popped up. I didn't realize how many Abraham Lincoln movies there were, but yeah.
So he plays The Last of the Mohicans. Right there. It's not a Disney film, but Disney owns it.
I'm mad at Disney.
So he plays a Native American, an indigenous person, and he falls for a white woman. Surprise, surprise. So I take that back. My bad.
Because I think it's really funny. And then you of course have the greedy colonizer boss, that this father is working himself to the bones to make him richer, as he and his children are in a matchbox apartment. And the daughter has taken on the role of the mother around the house. And I'm not talking about in the biblical sense. I'm talking about cooking chores,
cooking for him. And then the son's like, don't feed him. It'll only enhance it. Now, I agree.
At least the son has some good sense about himself, because he was like, don't touch it. Don't touch it. Don't mess with the... She got to touch it because she want to impress her daddy. And he's like, I'm past trying to impress daddy. Daddy's not trying to impress us with just the bare minimum. We keep getting promised stuff and we're not getting anything. We're holding up our end of the bargain, and because he's the adult, he's supposed to be given a pass. No, this is not an amusement park. You don't get a season pass, bruh. And then the type of apartment that they were living in, where is the old ass Karen to be in everybody's business that ain't sat there and circulated all of his business all around the museum?
I'm just saying. It's just striking that I'll say this, after the fantasticness of the episode of The Bookish Babysitter, and the lesson that we had to learn with that. Then we go back to this mess. And I'm like, why? Build off of that.
Like, we have a whole babysitter. You parents don't have to keep leaving your kids by yourself in this series. We got a babysitter. And a damn good one.
I'm like, yo, y'all are being disrespectful.
I mean, we went from having a kid left in a house that's being renovated, but there's no contractors and there's no parents, to this shenanigans. It's bad enough the stories are being told by kids that done snuck out at midnight to go off in the woods.
But see, here's the funny thing. It's given as the parents approve of this shenanigans. Because if you remember when Tucker was brought in at the beginning of this season, his parents told him, if you don't take him, you can't go.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And I'm like, so wait, y'all approve of them being out this late?
Yeah, because they could have spun that a little different. Like, well, he caught me leaving, so if we don't, then he's going to tell. But no, you know what? The Anglo audacity of it all. This is what we mean when we say there's a difference between black parents and white parents. A huge difference. Like, y'all, white folks could beat the shit out of us during slavery and not give two damn not bat an eye. But let little Johnny be a psychopath. You still want to put him in time and out and use gentle parenting.
I'm just like, here's the deal, Sparky. I'm tired of you coming at me sideways when we say. Now, I am not enforcing the trauma that our parents have forced on us because of the trauma that they had forced on them, and then the trauma that their parents had forced on them, and so on and so forth. I'm not perpetuating that. But here's the deal. We've had to have conversations and shenanigans thrown at us to show us how we act when we go certain places. There is not one person who is non-white who has had a conversation like any person of colors who's had a conversation with their children about how to act when they're not at home. Not one. I have not come across one. If there's one, y'all need to say so in the comments or either during this live right now or in the video after. But I have not seen one. Because I can guarantee they have not. They were like, oh, it's all right. He's fine. Johnny's fine. But he's throwing things off the balcony. Oh, it's okay.
He's just expressing himself. You need to accept him expressing himself. Well, you take little Johnny back home and let him express himself there.
Because he ain't doing that in my house. No, we're not about to do that. That's not what we're about to do. Because I can tell you this on a grand scheme of things. When I look at these people and they come and they say that we're now, yes, again, the emotional trauma has been a lot in Black families. We have inherited that. And there's nothing we can do except pray and break those cycles where we can. But don't break the cycle and not maintain the lesson from the cycle. See, there's the problem. See, they try to break the cycle and they don't maintain the lesson. And see, the lesson is you need to still respect me. I'm not going to sit here and beat you into submission to respect me, but you still need to respect me at the end of the day because I am your parent. Point blank.
And stop treating your children with any type of disability as if they are the disability. Because as someone who sits on the spectrum, it boils my blood when autistic children and children that are on the spectrum are just allowed to be bad and not taught how to smoothly move through society. They're like, oh, well, he doesn't understand. So you let them sit there and draw on the walls like that's okay. And then you get upset because you can't get a babysitter, because you can't get them enrolled in school. And now it's your responsibility to homeschool them. Yes, you have to parent them a little differently, but each child should be parented differently because each child is an individual. What worked for Tammy Sue ain't going to work for David. What worked for Peggy ain't going to work for Marcus. But stop giving kids a pass because they're different. Because they still have to be adults and they still have to manage their way through society. And all you're doing is making them entitled. That's why depression and anxiety are at an all-time high, because you have these kids getting nothing but participation trophies, everything in their lifestyle being changed to conform to them. And then they get out and somebody tells them no for the first time and they lose it.
See, this is another thing, and I hate to say this, and see, Gen Z, y'all can come for me if you want, but I'm just like, we made it easier for y'all to at least somewhat do and express yourself. Fine, perfect. I don't care about that. But don't sit there and come for us when we tell you there's a winner, there's a loser, and there's a winner. There will always be one. You may be one day and one the other, but there's always going to be a loser and a winner in a situation, no matter what you do. And the fact that y'all are sitting here what's not clicking, Stephen? There's going to be a winner in a situation and there's going to be a loser in a situation. And you have to just learn how to adjust. Because just like, and I hate to say this, and I'm really dating myself now when I say this, just like in the manga of Yu-Gi-Oh! When he's going to fight Pegasus for the last time, he had to adjust himself when he lost to Kaiba. He had to adjust himself when he was fighting Mai because he was so fixed on, I have to get him, I have to get him, I have to get him, that he was losing the duel. He didn't realize it. And Mai was just like, you better focus on me or you're going to lose this. And at the very last minute, he managed to pull out a game changer in the game. And before he could actually strike and literally kill her off, she put her hand on the thing. And see, what happened is she knew she had lost. But here's the thing. She knew what a loss that devastated her or a loss that motivated her to do better for the next time. And see, that's what that duel was. And see, what he lost sight of, again, what he had told her when she fought Joey for the first time, is something what's something that you can show but you can't see. He was so focused on doing something else that he wasn't focusing on the person in front of him. And see, that's what we're trying to get you to see. We're trying to get you to focus on the thing that's in front of you. And you're looking off into the future trying to say, well, I'm going to get there. Well, fine. Build yourself up to get there. Don't sit there and be like, I should be just handed that. We didn't act like we were handed anything. We had to still work. We still had to go out here, get these degrees. We still had to go out here and do the legwork, do the bush work. You think Mark Zuckerberg was going to just be handed that money?
And on top
I'm not saying that he didn't steal something, because don't get me wrong.
We did not have the luxury, and I mean the luxury, of having names and proper diagnoses for a lot of things that we had to live with. The best our parents could do was to teach us how to navigate through society with these issues with no names. Because going to a teacher and explaining, hey, my child has ADHD, they're like, no, they just need an extra whooping or some more discipline. It wasn't taken seriously. Trying to explain to someone that your child is autistic before it was widely accepted and the diagnoses were more acceptable to more people and offered to more people was difficult. But that doesn't mean just because you now have a label that you can tell somebody, hey, this describes my child, does not mean you get to stop parenting the child and treat that child as the ailment.
It's like I said, it gets to a point where and I think that's one of the reasons we've done this series, and I like doing this, It's good to go back and see what we were looking, what we were watching. Like I said, I found a journal of mine that I hadn't written in over 20 years. It has been literally 20 years since I wrote in that thing. And I was just like, geez, this was my think pattern around then? How it has changed. And these young people out here in these streets are so focused on what they should be getting, they're not focusing on what's there. And I'm just like, baby, it's what's there that's gonna matter because I'm just like, and see, this is why I say to these parents nowadays, yes, do you want them to be getting good schools? Yes, do you want them to achieve? That's fine. Perfectly well and good. I have no problem with that. What parent doesn't want their son or their daughter or non-binary person to achieve good things for their life? I don't know one that doesn't. I don't. None. My only problem is that y'all sit there, y'all got them in Little League, you got them in football, basketball, baseball, you got them in the debate club, you got them in this, that, and the third. When do they have time to just be a child? When?
And when do they have time to do not just be a child, but look like a child? Because you have a new generation of parents that are still stuck on their own trauma growing up. They're still stuck on, well, I was teased for not having this type of shoes or this type of outfit, not realizing, why not just raise a better generation of kids? If you realize how traumatized you were by everyone around you being so materialistic and you have outgrown that, why raise your child to be materialistic? Knowing that there's no way plausible, unless you're independently wealthy, to keep up with the Joneses, let alone surpass the Joneses. And you're more worried about that than whether Kim or Johnny are passing classes. Because I know somebody that was like, no, my kids have to wear name brand shoes. And then they kept wondering why their kids' shoes kept coming up missing. Because the kids couldn't stand them. The kids felt bad because they wanted the shoes from their favorite cartoon. They wanted the little light up shoes like their friend in class. They wanted their favorite color shoes and everything else. Like, these kids don't care. They start to care when kids care about what you care about. Just like I tell parents to stop stunting their children's palate. If you want to live your life eating chicken wings and pizza every day for the rest of your life, fine. But if your child wants to try different stuff as you visit different restaurants and visit different people's homes within the family or close friends, stop telling these kids, that's nasty, because they want to impress mommy and daddy. And I know a woman that's damn near 70 that still will not eat shrimp because her mother repeatedly told her that shrimp was rich people food and they were not rich. So I'm like, your mother gave you no goals, no aspirations in life, nothing, because she couldn't afford it. Instead of just saying, money is tight, because they were a coal mining family with a slew of kids, she told the family, and it's like, baby girl, you got a little extra coin in your pocket. And this woman would literally spend down her bank account to keep herself in basically the same situation her mother was in. Watch what you say. Because even when you think your teenager isn't listening, or you're like, don't nothing I say affect him or her. Yes, it does. And be mindful of what you say about them to other people. Because they can grow up and no longer be that little disruptive teenager. But the people you say that mess to will continue that trend, will continue that narrative into adulthood with these kids.
Mm-hmm.
Be careful. Words have power, and words have more power than any weapon known to man.
Sure do. Because I'm just like, you're going to sit here and you're going to literally let these kids go buck wild over something that doesn't really need to be the case. And I really hate to say this. This generation, this Gen Zs, yes, are they passionate? I will not take that from them. Nope, I won't. They are very passionate people, and that's good. That's good to have a passion, but passion without direction is nothing. It's like blowing in the wind. You're flitting from thing to thing, and it's not helping you. And I'm just like, I know us older millennials out here in these streets and Gen X, we just sitting here trying to tell you. We literally trying to tell you, and you ain't listening. And we like, okay, we
No,
warned you.
They think that the accomplishment of, oh, I got my own place, I got my own car, I got my own job, means that they're wise to the universe and life at this point.
Okay, go ahead. Keep thinking that.
Because I remember,
Thinking that.
I was at a little gathering, and I mean a little gathering, and the people with the two youngest children were asking each other for advice.
Oh Lord.
I'm sitting there waiting for my daddy to arrive. But until my father gets there, I am the person with the oldest. I'm the person who's gone through all of the stages. Infant, toddler, as my papa called it, the crazies, the teenage years, and adulthood. And they're like, yeah, the hardest part is almost over. When I tell you, and I said, why are y'all asking each other? I said, this is like watching two puppies try to walk each other. You have the resources right here, but you choose not to ask.
Well, no, stupid people are stupid.
Then a week later, they asked the person, the second oldest kids. When I found out, I cackled again and rolled my eyes. I said, okay, so you don't want to ask the person with college graduates that have successful jobs, that are completely self-sufficient. You want to ask the person
who will stroke your ego,
continuously sneak out the house, have almost gone to jail twice. Someone in their custody is now sitting in prison that was in their custody. Kids that are like wild parties, one is now sneaking into bars. That's who you want to ask for advice. Lord, don't need no bail money because I'm gonna be broke that day. Talking about you don't even know what day it's gonna be. First of all, you walked right into the point and it smacked you in the head. But I'm gonna tell you ahead of time, whatever day it is, I'm gonna be broke. I'm gonna be broke. Final thoughts on the night?
I would say this batch of stories. I'm gonna give it a C-.
I just gave it a solid B.
I give it a C-. Points for effort. The sarcasm brought it up. If there was no sarcasm, I was just like, yeah, you getting an F, and that's just gonna be that. The sarcasm gave me life.
Yeah, I can give you that. And I did appreciate, at least in the second story, one child had good sense.
For once.
All of that good sense, but he had good sense. Quick reminder for next week, you guys, because do not forget, next week is Super Bowl Sunday, so we will bring you our recap on Monday.
Yep.
Because I'm not even going to pretend that y'all going to come over here on Sunday. And if you do stumble over here, I'm pretty sure the Super Bowl will not be over by the time we're scheduled to go live. Because the Super Bowl generally lasts about 3 to 4 hours. And given the halftime show that they're about to put on this year, yeah, some Gen Xers, like everybody over 30 is going to be trying to see if they still got Megan knees and Mary J dance skills. Like, they're going to take it back to real love. Like, it's going to be over. So, y'all going to be taking that Epsom salt bath right around. I suggest you get some lavender Epsom salt. Just
hook yourself up.
But as always, thank you for joining me, D-Back. And always, each one teach one, each one reach one.